welcome to The Tread. My name is Dallas, and I'm the parent of two autistic boys, Ash and Jet. I often get told, "You do such an amazing job. I don't know how you do it." While I really appreciate these comments, let me fill you in on the reality. This is me on the outside. While I might look relaxed and under control, but underneath, I'm constantly on the go, physically, emotionally, and mentally.
Ash and Jet are autistic. They have an intellectual disability and a sensory processing disorder. Their developmental age or stage differs across different areas. Sometimes it feels like I've been living with 3 to 5-year-olds for the last 10 years.
This feels awful to say, but in terms of supervision, behaviours, understanding of certain concepts, it is a lot like that. I'm sure you can all remember what an exhausting and demanding time that was. Well, that continues to be my experience. Both boys need constant supervision. Left unsupervised, Jet will seek out devices. While there is nothing inherently wrong with them being on their iPads, like most neurotypical kids, it's the overstimulation caused by some of the things that he watches. He goes into sensory overload, which causes him to become very hyperactive, making it hard for him to focus and engage. Sometimes he likes to grab my iPad and film him watching his iPad. I have an iPad Pro, which is a lot more expensive to replace if he was to break it.
So we keep their iPads in a locked cabinet, and I make sure I have my iPad close by when I'm upstairs or downstairs.
If Ash is not supervised, he will constantly seek out food. Once again, there's nothing inherently wrong with this. After all, he is a teenage boy, and we know how much they eat. But Ash doesn't know when to stop. And he's not always eating just because he's hungry. He can be bored, or it could fulfill a sensory need. If he's left to eat whenever and however much he wants, we will A, run out of food, and we can't afford to just keep buying more. And B, it can cause constipation, which then impacts on his toileting. Then there is the issue of absconding. If we accidentally leave the front door unlocked, Ash will just open it and go out and run off. Thankfully, we've usually been close by and we've heard the door open, so we've been able to go out and get him before he gets too far. Jet, on the other hand, knows how to unlock the front door and go out. On one occasion, we found him outside in the car with the engine on.
So as you can imagine, we are constantly on high alert to be ready to react whatever the situation, to stop them from taking food or devices, keeping them safe, stopping them from chewing non-food items, damaging things. The list could go on. I rarely sit down because I'll just have to get back up again.
We often have to ask our daughter to watch the boys so we can go to the toilet or have a shower. While they are 95% toilet trained, we still need to prompt them to wipe and wash their hands. We also still need to supervise them while they're having a shower or bath. On top of that is all the prompting they need to complete everyday tasks. The amount of prompting needed depends on the task and also how regulated they are. When they are dysregulated, they find it hard to focus. Over time, some prompting has been phased out, but they often need prompting to stay on track. Some tasks they have mastered and no longer need prompting, but then there are always new skills to teach them. Our main goal for Ash and Jet is that they would be able to live as independently as possible. I've always refused to believe that where they are now is all that they will be capable of. So I'm fairly driven, and I keep encouraging them to not give up, even when the task is really challenging. Then there's organising support workers, therapy training for the support workers, managing their funding, following up on how they're doing at school, integrating therapy goals into routines, keeping on top of their visual schedules. Oh, have I mentioned laundry, cooking, tidying, grocery shopping? Fortunately, we have a cleaner once a fortnight and a gardener to mow our lawn. There's no way we can physically do this ourselves. I used to work part-time when they were younger, but the stress and exhaustion became too much, so I had to give it up. I am a perfectionist, so I'm always thinking about what I could and should be doing. But as I get older, I realize that's a totally irrational mindset. I even think that if I was able to do everything I think I should, it still wouldn't be enough. I'm not superhuman. So I've had to learn to accept help. We have support workers most afternoons, and we have two workers on a Saturday and a Sunday.
They support the boys to be independent in everyday tasks. They hang out and take them out places. As I mentioned before, developmentally they are still around the age of 3 to 5. Progress is slow but does happen. However, as we get older, this constant supervision and continual learning of skills gets exhausting for us. So support workers are vital for the boys' progress and our ability to keep going.
Sometimes it can get frustrating having people in the house all the time, but we can't do it on our own. If I did try to do it on my own, I'd probably just end up yelling and screaming at them all the time. I'd probably have a mental breakdown, and that would be no help for anyone. And that's not the type of parent I want to be. I love my kids and I want to be part of their lives. And having help means that I can do that. So even though it sounds like I've just painted a picture of it being really hard, I love being a parent. I love seeing their faces light up with a smile. I love the hugs. I love it when they learn or discover something new. It's these moments that make it all worth it. I'm a big believer in self-care. Sometimes I'm good at looking after myself. Other times I seem to forget all about my own needs. But I feel that I'm fairly self-aware and I know when things start to get too much, then I need to take a break. I usually try to go away on my own once or twice a year. I spend a lot of time doing everything for everyone else, so it's nice to have 2 to 3 days where I don't have to do anything. I can do what I want when I want. It's such a good feeling. I don't feel guilty going away. It gives me a chance to reset and recharge so that I can continue to be motivated to do everything that I do for my family. It's also good to have an activity that you enjoy, one that takes your mind off everything else. I build Lego, and I find it totally engrossing. I also have a fairly strong faith in God, and I trust that He has our future in His hands. He's never let us down in the past, and we've been through a lot. Often the topic of the boys' future will come up. People will ask, what are our plans for post-school? Ash and Jed only have 2 more years of school after this year. It can be very overwhelming. So at the moment, I'm putting all my energies into preparing them for adulthood, communication, independence, and even job skills. Another thing that helps me cope is to be silly and laugh a lot. There's nothing better than seeing a great big smile on their face or hearing them laugh. Life is too short to be serious all the time. The most important job that you can do is to be their mum or dad, and only you can do that. I know this can be hard when you're a parent of an autistic child because you end up being so many different things: therapist, parent, dietitian, personal care assistant, coach. So when support workers come to our house, I let them take care of most of that. And I'll just sit with Ash or Jet and be mum. We all grew up with different experiences and different influences. So we're all going to approach parenting in our own way. And remember, we're all doing the best we can with what we have. So let's be kind and remind each other that we're all doing an amazing job. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to make a comment or ask a question down below. And if you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button to the right of the screen. Bye!